What's going on, everyone? My name's Eric, and today on the channel we have this guitar here. This is a 2006 Dean Dimebag Daryl signature guitar. And this guitar is in just for a simple setup and for a neck pickup swap. And if you want to learn more on the mods that you need to do on your import Washburn or Dean Dimebag guitars or just Dean ML guitars and getting them up to the specs of the USA counterparts of Washburn and Dean, I got a video right up here you can check out after this video that'll tell you everything you have to do to get your import guitars up to specs. So without further ado, let's throw this on the bench and let's get to upgrading. Here we have the Dean Dimebag signature Dymo Flame guitar all finished up here. And this is once again, this is a really amazing example of a high-spec import guitar that Dean was offering back when they were offering the Dimebag Daryl guitar. So now let's get on to some of the specs of the Dean Dymo Flame guitar. First and foremost, this is a Korean import guitar, but this is a very high-spec import guitar. And even though I changed the neck pickup out, this guitar really comes well-equipped from the factory. So if you can find one of these guitars in upgraded or in stock form, maybe with a different neck pickup, go ahead and grab these things because they are very well equipped right from the factory. We have a mahogany body and neck on the guitar. The neck actually has a C-shaped profile, which is very interesting because the Razorback that I reviewed has a V-shaped neck profile, and that one is made in China. And it seems like a lot of the Korean Dimebag guitars that I've played, especially the earlier ones, all have C-shaped neck profiles, but all the ones that are made in China have the V-shaped neck profile. I don't know what's going on there, but that's just a thing that maybe to watch out for if you are looking for one of these guitars and you want that V-shaped neck profile on your Dimebag signature guitar. You got the Dimebag traction knobs on both of the volume knobs just so you can grip them a little bit easier when you have to adjust them. We have the licensed by Floyd Rose double locking Floyd Rose tremolo here. This is not an original Floyd Rose. This is just an import licensed design which is made offshores just like this guitar as well. We have a locking nut here. Rosewood fingerboard with the abalone dot inlays. Very, very gorgeous here. We also have 22 nickel frets here on a 24 3/4 inch scale length design here. We've got the traditional Dean headstock with the Dean graphic here. We have the matching graphic up on the top here that's going to match the body graphic as well. Black Grover tuners, 18:1 ratio here. Got some fingerboard binding. The body doesn't have binding, but that's just okay. We got a set neck design on the back here. Again, super duper comfy, and even though this has the C-shaped neck profile, this feels really great in my hands as well. We also have a 3-way pickup selector, very traditional. Seymour Duncan Dimebucker in the bridge, and a Seymour Duncan 59 bridge pickup in the neck position here. And we have the very, very iconic Dean Dymo Flame graphic. And that's one thing that's very consistent about Dimebag's guitars throughout his entire career, is that he liked loud guitars and guitars that you could recognize from the back of the arena or the venue that Pantera was playing or wherever Dimebag was playing. Whether it was a design that was radical like the Dean Dymo Flame here, or maybe the Dean from Hell, a bit more subtle like the Washburn Stealth, or it stood out in a really beautiful way with a nice piece of figured maple, such as the Far Beyond Driven and the iconic Dime Slime guitars. Dime really loved his guitars that stood out, and honestly, when these guitars were brand new in the stores, these guitars stood out the most. And even when I was young and getting into guitar and everything, these guitars here and generally extreme shaped guitars stood out to me way more than maybe the traditional shapes. Don't get me wrong, those were super nice and everything like that, but as someone who was trying to get inspired to maybe stick with guitar for the long run, this is where it was at for me. Now, something really quick to mention about the design on this guitar here and the iconic graphic. This is just a printed vinyl graphic that is then glossed over in the factory, and same with the other import Dimebag guitars as well that have these very unique graphics as well. The USA Dean Dimebag guitars that featured a lot of crazy paint jobs just like this, a lot of those were hand painted as well. A lot of the Dean guitars that Dimebag was playing, such as the Dymo Flame and the Dymo Flage and even that Purple Bolt, all of those finishes were hand painted as well, and those were all done by Rick Dubstat. He's one of the iconic painters that painted a lot of his guitars. although those were one-off designs just for Dimebag Darrell and probably for the USA Custom Shop as well. But in terms of this guitar here, this is the volume seller. These are the ones that are supposed to get into players' hands a little bit quicker and in a more affordable package than the USA counterparts as well. So certain parameters are going to have to get cut in order to save a little bit of money, but that is not saying the quality of this guitar does not stack up, because this is a really well-built guitar and it stacks up really well to other guitars in this price. And one final thing before we hear this guitar in some isolated mixes, we need to thank today's sponsor, which is the String Source guitar strings. This guitar is currently strung up in drop B with the Emerald Standard set, which is an 11 to 54 gauge set. And if you're new here and you're not familiar with the String Source guitar strings, they have been my #1 go-to choice for guitar strings for a very long time at this point. Essentially, all of their strings are balanced from the factory. So essentially that means every set of strings that you buy from the String Source, whether it's 6, 7, 8, or 9 strings and beyond, they're all going to be in a balanced set, which means every string from the first to the last string on your guitar is going to be pulling the same amount of tension from the bridge to the headstock, which is essentially going to make the guitar feel way better to play. You're not going to have these random strings that are either too light or too heavy, or maybe feeling just a little off throughout the guitar. Every string feels really consistent, and they sound really great too, and they honestly last way longer than a lot of the other big names that are out there that we all grew up with.
Nice.
And not to mention, I also choose the String Source because they are ran and operated by a great group of people who really care about the products that they deliver. So go ahead and click the link below if you want to learn more about the String Source guitar strings, and you can also use the discount code that is linked below as well. It is MRTNTSS. You can apply that at checkout for 10% off your next string order. Once again, MRTNTSS for 10% off your string order at the String Source. So without further ado, let's hear this guitar in some isolated mixes. that's going to do it for today's video on the Dean Dimebag Dimeflame signature guitar here. Unfortunately, you cannot get these guitars brand new anymore because the Dimebag estate is not working with Dean guitars anymore. The only way you can get any of these Dean Dimebag guitars right now is essentially getting a back order guitar that was ordered by a music store a while back, or you're essentially playing the used market and seeing what you can find there. But there are some workings of a new guitar brand coming up, and so maybe we'll see the return of the Dean Dimeflame and some of the other iconic Dimebag signature designs with the new brand when that launches. And if you enjoyed today's video and learned something new, let me know in the comments below and consider liking the video. It definitely helps grow the channel as well. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. I have tons more videos like this that go over iconic Dimebag guitars, gear demos and reviews, guitar setup and maintenance tutorials, and covers as well. Thanks for checking this video out, and I'll see you next time.